Namaste, my dear students, and welcome back. I know your exams are just around the corner, and this chapter, The Philosophy of the Constitution, it can feel a bit heavy, right? But please, don't worry at all. I'm here, and together we are going to make this chapter super simple and super interesting. So let's just jump right in and crack this, shall we? Okay, let's start with a question. When I say the word Constitution, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it like a huge, dusty old book filled with really complicated rules that only lawyers and judges can understand? Well, if that's what you're thinking, let's challenge that idea right now. Because you need to think again. Our Constitution is so much more than a boring rule book. It is the ultimate guidebook. In fact, it's the very soul of our nation. Just imagine it's the official rulebook for Team India. It tells all of us how to play this game of democracy together, making sure there's fairness, teamwork, and harmony for everyone. So you know how every good guidebook, or even a video game, has a core idea, right? A kind of spirit or a vibe that guides everything else. So what is the core vibe of our Constitution? What's the feeling behind it? Let's find out. Our Constitution is on a few very, very important missions. Think of them like the main quests you have in a game. The first is to protect your individual freedom. The second is to get social justice for everyone. The third is to respect our amazing diversity. And the fourth, of course, is to keep Team India united and strong. These are basically the four pillars of our democracy. Now, this first mission, individual freedom, it wasn't just some idea they came up with in a meeting. No way. Our freedom fighters fought for this for more than 100 years. Think of people like Rajaram Mohan Roy, who fought for the freedom of the press, or the huge protests against horrible laws like the Role Act, which let the British arrest anyone without a trial. Our Constitution makes sure those dark days never, ever come back. And here's where our Constitution is really special, It's uniquely Indian. Many Western ideas of freedom focus only on the individual, but our guidebook does something truly brilliant. It connects that personal freedom with social justice. Let's see how it does that. So, how does it pull this off? Well, first, it gives everyone the right to equality. But our founders were incredibly wise. They knew that just saying everyone is equal doesn't magically fix centuries of injustice. Imagine this. There's a short student in class who can't see the blackboard. Is it fair to just say, hey, you have an equal right to see it? Of course not. What do? You give them a small stool to stand on. That stool, my dear students, is like the reservations for SCs and STs. It's a special measure to correct a historical disadvantage and create a truly level playing field. All right, now for my favorite part. Let's talk about the Constitution's incredible superpowers. These are the special features that make our guidebook one of the most amazing documents in the whole world. Let's explore them. Superpower number 1 is universal adult franchise. From the very first day, our Constitution gave every single adult citizen, man, woman, rich, poor, didn't matter, the right to vote. Now, this might seem totally normal to us today, but believe me, back then it was revolutionary. Many so-called advanced countries took hundreds of years to give this right to all their citizens. We did it in one go. And just listen to this quote from the Constituent Assembly debates. It really shows you the mindset of our founders. It shows the massive, incredible faith they had in the ordinary people of India to choose their own future. What a beautiful thought. Okay, let's move on to our next superpower, our unique Indian brand of secularism. Now, you've heard the word secularism a lot, I'm sure, but the way we do it in India is a little different from how it's done in the West. So here's the main difference. The Western model is like a very strict wall between the state and religion. They just don't interfere with each other. But in India, we follow a model of principled distance. Think of the state as a fair referee in a cricket match. It stays neutral, but it can step in if there's a problem, like to protect citizens or to reform really harmful social practices like untouchability, which was unfortunately tied to some religious customs. This power to intervene was absolutely essential to build a fair society for everyone. Okay, exam prep time. Let's do a quick quiz. This is a typical question you might see in your textbook or your exam paper. So, which of the following is a part of individual freedom? Is it A, B, C, or D? All of the above. Take a second and think. And the correct answer is D, all of the above. If you got that, brilliant. All of these rights, freedom of expression, minority rights, equal access, are all connected and form the base of our individual freedom. Each one is vital. See, not so tough after all. Simple, Henna? Now, no guidebook, no matter how good, is free from criticism. So let's look at some of the common player reviews, if you will, or the criticisms that are often made against our Constitution, and see if they're really fair. One of the biggest criticisms you'll hear is this. RA, our Constitution is not original at all. It's just a bag of borrowings, a copy-paste job from America, Britain, and other places. But that's really not the whole story. It wasn't a blind copy-paste job. A much better way to think about it is it was smart shopping. Our founders looked at the global market of ideas, they checked everything out, and they carefully picked only the best features that would work for India. And this is exactly what they did. They didn't just copy, they adapted. They took a great idea, like the parliamentary system from Britain, but they cleverly changed it and modified it to fit our Indian society. This smart process is called selective adaptation. It's about being inspired by others, not just imitating them. Okay, here's another big criticism. The members of the Constituting Assembly, the people who actually wrote the Constitution, were elected by a limited number of people, not by every adult in India. So how could they claim to speak for everyone? And that's a very valid question. But here's the powerful answer. While the Assembly may not have represented every single voice physically, it made a huge effort to represent every single opinion. The debates were so detailed. Members from every background you can imagine argued passionately for the interests of all communities, all regions, all sections of society, making sure all points of view were heard. Now, let's be honest. No document made by human beings can be 100% perfect. Our Constitution, as brilliant as it is, does have some limitations. You can think of them as potential bugs that might need a patch, or areas that need a future update. So your textbook points out three main limitations. First, it has a very centralized idea of national unity, which can sometimes clash with the rights of states. Second, some very important issues of gender justice, especially within the family structure, were kind of glossed over. And third, very important socioeconomic rights, like the right to get a job, were placed in the directive principles, which are like guidelines and not enforceable in a court of law. So, as we come to the end of our discussion, let's remember the single most important thing. Despite any criticisms or limitations, the true power of our Constitution comes from just one source, and that is us, the people of India. These words from the preamble are the most powerful words in the entire document. Just listen to them. We, the people of India, give to ourselves this Constitution. It wasn't a king or a foreign government or a small group of powerful people who gave us this book. No, we gave it to ourselves. It is our book. It is our game. It's our promise to each other. So, the final takeaway is this. The great game of Indian democracy is still going on. The Constitution is our guidebook, our rulebook, but upholding its philosophy of liberty, equality, and justice, that responsibility is on each and every one of us. So, I'll leave you with this question. What will be your next move to strengthen our team? Think about it. And listen, all the very, very best for your exams. I know you are all going to do great.